I'm used to seeing you about 5-6 days a week for about, 5 months, 4 months? And I ain't seen
Well,
you in 4 weeks. How are you?
well, Chris, here's what I would say. I think I'm like your wife. I just needed a break from you. No, I'm
Amen.
just joking. I miss you too, man. And we're just
Amen.
rocking and rolling and, getting ready to get back out on the recruiting circuit. And a lot of great things happening with Alabama basketball.
How was the Final Four?
It was good. I went to the Final Four 2 years ago when it was in Dallas, just as a fan and spectator. But, when you go there as the University of Alabama men's basketball coach and you just go there and you see it with a different set of lenses. And you look at, you study the teams and you study the coaches and, there's always a nugget that you can pick up and as it relates to something that you can do to help reorganize some things or take things to the next level with your own program. And it was very gratifying being around all of the coaches and attending the games and just picking up some things here or there, but at the same time just dreaming about Alabama being on that big stage.
Be pretty special, no doubt about that. You've had a chance to kind of digest things a little bit from the season itself. We talked as soon as it was over with, but you look back and reflect, and I guess any change of thought from where you felt you got things done from a month ago, Coach, or still enjoying the fact that you maybe were ahead of schedule with things?
Yeah, I think just in going to the Final Four and watching all those teams and also just watching the NCAA tournament, it just kind of confirmed that we are on the right track. We had some highlights this year that we all are aware about, beating some top 25 teams and here at home improving our attendance and having sellouts, crowds, and students getting involved, and all of the improvements we've made here at Coleman in our basketball offices and practice facility. All of those things were great. So I just think more than anything, it just confirmed that we are on the right track, but it also highlighted, that next level that we need to go to in terms of developing our players and, with recruiting and just continue to improve across the board. And fortunately, I have an athletic director in Coach Bill Battle and an administration and trustees and president that really get it. They understand the vision of what we're trying to do, and we're all pulling in the same direction. And so hopefully, next year we'll continue to improve and take that next step and see where that takes us.
It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. It's happening all over America. 700 kids transferred in Division I programs a year ago. You had a couple of guys make their announcements within the last month, Justin Coleman and Mike Kessens. You feel like things have stabilized there, Coach, and where are you roster-wise as you look towards making your plans for next year?
Yeah, we feel like things have stabilized, and a lot of times, with a student athlete, you just never know, and that's why we have so many transfers. So what we do as staff, we try to service our student athletes as best we can on and off the floor, giving them all the tools that they need to be successful in the classroom and on the court, and providing a social life and an environment that's fun and where they can grow and develop. And when I look at myself in the mirror, I feel we really did an incredible job with both, Mike and Justin, and overall, they had great experiences. But, with Mike, I kind of had in the back of my mind, because he's an older kid, that he would either try to go play overseas or he may try to go to school on the East Coast and play his last year since he's from Europe. And so I kind of expected that one. Justin was a little bit of a surprise, but understandable. But we worked hard with Justin. He improved. He's a great kid. And but he made that decision that he wanted to move on and talk to his family about it, and we just couldn't talk him out of it. But at the same time, it's my job to do the best job that I can do for the university and for our team. So now we just have to continue to reload and bring in some other talent that can help us. And you only want the kids that really want to be here. And we feel our roster now has kids that want to be here, and we got some other recruits coming in that's going to also help us.
So how many do you think ultimately you'll sign that you have beyond what you have already, Coach? How many?
Ultimately, probably 2 more. Yeah, probably 2 more kids. And, we got some kids that we're engaged with, and hopefully we'll get them on campus to visit, and hopefully sometime later on in April or even in May, we'll have some kids come on board.
You recognize the voice. It's Avery Johnson, the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, kind enough to join us on the Bud Light Hotline presented by Adams Beverages. In a couple of minutes, we're going to talk about his camps that are coming up, and the dates are closing in. Hard to believe we're already at that point, but also the window for signing up is closing. Want to make sure we get you all that information coming up in just a second. We talk about turnover with the roster. Also not uncommon to see changes in staff. And, Coach, not trying to put you on the spot, but a lot of conversation in that regard. How close are you to being set with things looking towards next year in that regard as well?
Yeah, obviously Scott Postigo came on board for a year and to help us and help me launch this program, and he did a really nice job for us. But, he has triplet daughters, 2 of which that go to school in Texas, and we had a conversation about, him going back and potentially, working at a school in Texas, and that process is on the way. But, we want to thank Coach Scott for the terrific job that he did for us, in this year. And we've got a great relationship. But he's moving on and looking to do some other things with another team, possibly closer to home. We're going to have an official announcement, but I can tell you now that John Pelphrey has been added to our staff. Outstanding player at Kentucky. He's been an awesome coach at Florida. Coached in the Final Four. He's been a head coach twice, once at South Alabama and also at Arkansas. So he knows the SEC. He's been an unbelievable recruiter. So, yeah, we will have an official release coming out here sometime later today. But he has joined our staff.
Did you know John before this season and him being around the league as a broadcaster?
No, not at all. Didn't really know John at all, and I saw him a couple of times. Obviously, he interviewed me after shoot-arounds when he came in to do our games, but didn't know him at all.
You do. All right. I've had some requests. Had a couple of questions tweeted at me. Kevin, who's a big Bama fan, lives up in Lexington, interacts with us on the show every day, wants to know your thoughts. Greatest San Antonio Spur of all time. Now, I said you'd go real political answer and not limit it to one, but I'm going to shut up and see which way you go.
The greatest Spur of all time? Oh,
that's
easy. Tim Duncan.
Okay.
Oh, Tim Duncan is the greatest Spur of all time. He's the best power forward to ever play in the NBA. He's one of the top 10 players to ever play in the NBA. I love David Robinson, love George Gervin, but the top Spur of all time is Tim Duncan, and I think David Robinson would agree with me.
Yeah, but I'm still going to say the best Spurs poster of all time is the Iceman.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But, I agree with you there. But 5 championships. Tim is the greatest Spur, and he's playing for a legendary coach, Greg Popovich, who just so happens to be, my mentor and one of my closest dear friends.
Another guy on Twitter wants your input. Greatest player of all time. He narrowed it to Kobe or MJ.
Oh, Michael Jordan. And Kobe is playing in his last game tonight after a 20-year career and unbelievable talent. But Michael Jordan, number one, Michael Jordan. Kobe's in the top 10.
Okay. And for the Warriors tonight, just incredible. I didn't think I'd see it again, that we'd have a team getting 72 like the Bulls. But more important than the 73, will anybody beat them en route to the championship again?
I think the Spurs have the best chance. When it's a 7-game series, obviously the Warriors are going to have home court advantage. But I think the Spurs will have the best chance to beat them. But I think one of the things you got to be mindful of, as good as the Warriors are, you got to watch who they're going to be matched up with in the second round. They're matched up with, the Clippers or Oklahoma City, in that second round. That's not going to be an easy series also. But, two outstanding teams, well-coached teams with superstar talent, Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard. Those guys are just incredible. But teams that have different ways of doing it, Spurs are more of a defensive teams, Warriors and offensive teams. But the Warriors can defend and the Spurs can score. So I think that's the series that everybody wants to see. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Spurs beat them. But at the same time, the Warriors are a well-oiled machine.
CoachAveryCamps.com is the website to find out more information. I had a chance to watch you work with kids last year. We did our show from your camps last year. Hope to do it again. But you get an opportunity to work hands-on with these young kids, and those are coming up again in the month of June. Coach, talk about how special that is for you to have a chance to work with young people like that.
Well, Chris, it's special because I think the first thing is it gets kids on this beautiful campus. I've been for the most part, not every SEC campus, but almost all of them. And this is a special place. This is like a breath of fresh air when you come on this campus with all of the great facilities we have and buildings and new construction. And just to have the families on campus. And some will come for day camps with our individual camps. Some will spend the night. We have team camps. We have an elite camp. But our individual camps specifically, last year we had 180 kids from ages 7 to 17. And this year we're expecting 300-plus kids. That's why we're encouraging the families to sign up as soon as possible, so we won't run out of space. And our greatest testimony to our camps are the parents and the kids that came last year, and how they said it was the best basketball camp experience they've ever experienced in their life. The way we treated them, the food they ate, the instruction they got from our coaches and players. I was there every day, all day. They got plenty of autographs. It was a lot of fun. It was great instruction on the fundamentals of the game. So it's I'm really flattered because we have quite a few kids that have signed up. Every day somebody's signing up. But again, at some point we're going to have to cut it off. We're just asking our parents to sign up as soon as possible. CoachAveryCamps.com and call in. You have all of the information.
Yes.
We will be honored for them to come and be a part of our camp, and they get a chance to hear me talk about our team. And I tell a lot of old stories. I answer a lot of questions about current NBA players and past NBA players. It's just a fun time of fun and food and family and basketball and fundamentals. And our players are great at working with the kids along with our coaches. So we love to see kids sign up for our basketball camps.
348-4111 is the telephone number, 348-4111, or you can email coachAveryCamps@ia.ua.edu, and we're also going to continue to remind people about that. We'll send the info out. The website is CoachAveryCamps.com. Coach, great to talk to you. We'll get by and see you soon. Congratulations again on the first year, and excited about many, many more to come.
And, Chris, you know what I got to end with besides saying thank you. Roll Tide and buckle up.